Hello everybody. On this channel, normally I speak in Hmong and Lao and not normally in English, but I felt like telling this story in Hmong, which I already did, was great, but I feel like I can do a better job of telling it in English, and I really wanted to share this story with you guys, especially since a lot more American people are messaging me now. How did I end up in Laos? That's a very interesting question, and to be honest, I really love living here. It really is an amazing place. And there are so many things here to do that are different from the United States. It's been an eye-opening experience. It doesn't mean I haven't had culture shock, and it doesn't mean I don't miss the United States, because I definitely miss the United States. And one more thing I wanted to say before I started this video. I really do love the Hmong people, and I really love the Lao people. It's amazing to be here and work with them. And it's true that sometimes people that aren't always the best to me. But that's okay, because I know that I'm trying my best to help as many people as I can, even though sometimes people aren't the same back to me. And it doesn't really bother me that sometimes people aren't good. I just love to help people. And that ultimately was the original reason why I wanted to come to Laos. I wanted to come to Laos because I wanted to help people. Now, when I was in the United States, I was learning Hmong. I learned Hmong in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And some of you that are in Minnesota and Wisconsin might remember me. I'm getting some messages from some people that I met when I lived there, and it's pretty awesome to hear from you guys. And if you guys message me, I would love to talk with you guys. You know, I miss all of you guys, and I do remember most of you guys. That was my baby. The thing is when I was in Minnesota, and the more I learned about Hmong people, and the more I learned their culture, I came to this decision that I did not want to marry someone from Laos. That was not going to happen. And it wasn't because Hmong people in Laos are bad, or Lao people in Laos are bad. It was just because I felt like my culture was very different, and I wanted to marry someone who loved me in a different kind of way. And I felt like I wouldn't be able to get that here in Laos. But boy was I wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. I was living in, well, after I left Minnesota, I moved to California. I was living in San Diego at my parents' home for a while, until I got a job. I moved to Texas for a while, and then I ended up in Utah. Well, I was living in Utah. Utah's really cheap, and I love it there. The mountains are so pretty. It's just such a great place to live. But when I lived there, I ended up, I gotta rewind. I had a friend in Minnesota who knew this girl from Laos, and she was living in Australia, and she was really cute. And I thought I should message this person. You know, she goes to the same church as me. She's super cute. I really wanted to message her, but then I just felt like, you know what, it'd be really weird if someone random just messaged her. There goes my son again. He's so cute. So I didn't message her. I didn't. And all I had was her email, which was also really weird. I mean, you get a random email from some random dude. That'd be really weird on the other side of the world. And so I never emailed her. It was about 2 years later that I was living in Utah. And my friend needed some help with his church activity, and we were like, well, we needed some Hmong-speaking people. And he knew the church in Laos very well. And so I was like, oh, maybe we can contact Laos to see if they know anybody. And lo and behold, the members here that contacted me ended up being this girl. And I was like, no way, 2 years later, man, here we are talking. And I always had this feeling like I needed to talk to her. I always had this feeling. It always bothered me. I'd go on dates with these other girls, and they were great girls. And I thought, there's nothing wrong with this person. She's really pretty. She's really sweet. I love her personality, you know, but just never felt right. But the more that I would date these other girls, it just never worked. And then all of a sudden I started messaging this girl in Laos. Things just felt right. But I hated that. I hated that because she lived on the other side of the world. She was so far away. And that was difficult for me. I'm like, why am I in this awkward situation? I mean, what am I supposed to tell my parents who do not understand the Hmong culture and how things work with the Hmong people? They don't understand that. What am I supposed to tell them? Yeah, I'm talking to this girl on Facebook from the other side of the world who is Hmong. And yeah, she lives in Australia. She speaks English. I mean, that was a really weird and awkward conversation. Really, really weird. But I still really wanted to go to Laos to help people, and I didn't want to come here just to talk to this girl. And so that was my original plan, and I really wanted to do that. And so I was still planning on doing that. But you know, I was poor. I was a college student. I didn't have any money, and so I thought, you know, it's probably never going to happen. So if I end up coming to Laos, it'll be when I'm older, like in my 40s, you know, when I'm a little bit closer to retirement and I have more money and I can do these things. One day I was just so frustrated. I walked into church and I just said, like, hey, God, I'm never going to meet this girl. It's not going to happen. She lives on the other side of the world. 12-hour difference. I'm never going to meet her. So please just help me move on. And at this point, she didn't even like me. She liked someone else. And so I remember walking out of that church and getting a message maybe like 5-10 minutes later saying, hey, I heard you're looking for a job. How would you like to come teach English in Laos? And I was just like, my jaw dropped. I was like, what the heck? Maybe I really need to go to Laos. And so from that point on, I started preparing. I mean, obviously I didn't have the money to come here. And so I thought, where's this money going to come from? And the money just came. I mean, nobody donated. You know, it's not like my job shifts changed or anything. All of a sudden, I just noticed there's more money in my bank account, and the money wasn't leaving, and I had enough money for a plane ticket. And I thought, whoa, maybe I really need to go to Laos. And so I ended up buying a plane ticket, got everything ready to go, and I ended up here in Laos. And I started teaching, but I mean, this isn't even the end of the story. The story goes on and on. Started teaching here in Laos, and I realized just how amazing this country is. I mean, every country has flaws. Every country has flaws, and there's lots of things I could say bad about Laos, and lots of things I could say bad about the United States. But there are so many good things here too. But I just remember, you know, I got engaged to my wife after living here for a while. I was engaged to my wife, and I remember going through the legal process to try and get married to her, realizing it's so hard to get married here in Laos. And I thought we should get married back in the United States. So I went and talked to the counselor at the embassy. What does it take for me to get my wife to the United States? And they told me it's pretty much a guaranteed chance that she will fail her interview to go to the United States. They told me, you don't even come in for the interview, don't pay the money because you're probably going to lose the money and she's not going to get the visa. And I thought, well, I need to do this. And I'm going to try. And I want my family to meet her and everything else. And so I applied for the visa and she got it. And we were so shocked when she got her visa. We were like so excited. And then her mom said, I want to go too. And I was like, oh, crud. And I really needed to help her out because I didn't have a lot of money for the dowry at the time. And that was a really, really scary thing for me because in American culture, we used to pay a dowry a long time ago, but it wasn't the same. And so I was like, what do I do? So I need to help her. And she had already failed for a visa 5 times. And so I was really worried. And so I applied for her visa and I coached her so many times, prepared all her paperwork, and she went in and she passed. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And her mom, who'd failed 5 times to get a visa, passed to go to the United States. We ended up getting married in one of the most pretty churches, I feel like, in the world. And it was the one my wife had always dreamed of getting married in. If you guys, maybe I'll post a picture of it on here, which was amazing. We ended up getting all our Hmong clothes sewed for our wedding, and we wore Hmong clothes at our wedding, and it was amazing. Honestly, it was just an amazing experience. And then I decided, you know, we should come back to Laos. I could have stayed with my wife. We could have stayed. We had the opportunity to stay in the United States, and we didn't. We came back to Laos because we wanted to help the people here. I love helping the people here, and they are an amazing people. I can't stay here forever, I know that. I have a son. But for as long as I can stay here, I really want to serve. You know, we don't have the most luxurious lifestyle. My house is the same size, my apartment, call it a hotel, is the same size as my parents' bedroom. Man, there's 4 of us living in there. You know, I mean, I'm living with my brother-in-law. Never in my entire life did I ever think I would live with my brother-in-law, but here I am. And, you know, it's hard. It is really hard, but is it worth it? It really is. I hope that I can share more stories with you guys in English, that you guys will share these so that my audience can grow, so that the rest of the world can learn, you know, about this amazing people. It is truly an amazing thing to be here and to be with you guys, and I love the support that I get from all of you. And I know that maybe not everybody likes what I do here or likes the fact that I speak Hmong, but I love all of you guys, even if you don't like me. And I hope that, you know, I can help everybody, even those who don't have anything and those who do, because I care about everybody. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube. That helps me do what I do out here. And, you know, follow me on Facebook. I try my best to make as many videos as I can. They are high quality. You know, I don't have a lot of money. I don't even have a nice camera. I just use a phone. But I'm talking to all of you guys because I care about all of you guys. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed my story. See you later.